Who's the special guest
Hi,
today?
everybody. You always start talking just when I say hi, because I've seen it on other
I'm
recordings.
sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Hi, everybody. Recruiting Animal here on September 14th, 2022. That's MarioTheRecruiter.com. Wave.
Yo.
Okay, yeah. With this terrible sound, I'm going to do some
And
research
charming
now.
personality.
I'm going to do some research to see if he can improve that echo. I have to do it for him, of course.
Yeah,
Anyway,
lazy, so.
yeah. Okay, so is everybody. Okay, so we're going to get started. Let me see what I want to talk about first. Okay. 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 One of the big, apparently, Robert Half in Canada did a survey of people going back to work. And one of the big concerns is, can they wear in the office what they've been wearing for the last couple of years at home? And people are saying, look, I did my job really well. I was just wearing a t-shirt and sweatpants and flip-flops. Why should I wear anything else when I'm in the office? It's proven to work for me. What's the big deal? What do you think about that, Mario? I see you're wearing a golf shirt. You're not getting all fancy to come to work.
I own the company. I can come in with my Bermudas and shoes, okay? It doesn't matter. Without a t-shirt, they're not going to say anything to me.
Okay, but because you own the company, he's a big shot, everybody, okay? Okay, yeah.
I'm a small town guy, okay?
No, but that means you want to do best for the company. You have a lot of motivation.
Yes, I always come. See, I basically dress in business casual, all right? That is a t-shirt and a pair of jeans with a pair of formal shoes or casual shoes, okay? But that's because from where I work in the night. But if I was coming
A t-shirt is business casual now.
Yeah,
hey, t-shirt's not business casual. T-shirt's just casual. It's just casual. We're going to ask Wonder Woman. We're going to ask Wonder Woman. Hey, Wonder Woman, can you raise your head a bit or lower the camera so half of it?
I know what you're asking me. This is a regular t-shirt. However, if I put something like this and bear with me for a second, I'll be right back. I would look business-like, okay?
No, it's a
She's gonna wear a jacket and come and show up.
I didn't tell her to change her clothes, okay?
Animal, let me be clear here, okay? It's because I don't go and meet my customers in person. I dress like this, all right? If I'm going to meet them in person, you see me in a formal shirt or maybe a casual jacket or something.
Well, okay, she's with you. She calls the t-shirt business casual, okay?
Yeah, see, Wonder Woman agrees with me.
Yeah, Wonder Woman agrees, okay? You know, some guy posted, I put a picture of Sasha, okay? That's Sasha Tesanovic, everybody, over in Serbia. Okay. And so I posted one of these postings on YouTube, and I split the screen for the initial picture. Half was Rich Rosen and half was her, right? And some guy posted under, he said, typical bait and switch. He said, you post a picture of a pretty girl there and she doesn't join until 40 minutes into the show. No, I told him anyway. It turned out he was speaking tongue in cheek, and I was so stiff necked and uptight that I didn't get it. Okay, so there you go.
The pretty girl joined from the very beginning now.
Yeah. Okay, she's one of our few regular women on the show. The others are all semi-regulars, okay? Anyway, so now we know that two people think that t-shirts are business casual. Okay.
Well,
hey, a t-shirt and jeans.
It's over. Nobody's interested in that conversation.
Listen. That doesn't mean you wear Bermuda doesn't come to office, okay? Just because you can do your job in that. You need to dress properly when you go to an office. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, fine. Okay, finished. Okay. What about this one? This article, magazine article, they had, recruiter from Google. It's like from heaven, right? They tell what is the best 5 things that leave off your resume. One of them was the address, okay? And I have never agreed with that, but lots of other people do. Leave off your address, okay? Everything's remote now. But here's what Pauline said. She said, let's say you're recruiting a chef, okay, who's going to finish the job around midnight. She said, they don't usually have cars. They take the bus, public transport. If they don't tell you where they live, you don't know if it's going to be good for them transportation wise. And that's just going to slow things down and waste a lot of time. So put your address in. That's what she says. Okay. Does anybody disagree? No, you're all frozen. Okay.
No, you can put your address down. You may as well do it.
You want the address?
Yeah, I would prefer it because it depends on the position I'm working for. For example, I'm currently working as C++ lead developer role, okay, where the candidate needs to go into the office for at least 2 days of the week. Now, we presented a candidate who was all the way in Philly, and the office is in New York. So if we had the address in the resume earlier, it would have saved us half the trouble.
Okay, see, there you go. I'm right, okay?
Well, once in a life, okay, I'm just kidding, but yeah.
Yeah, once in a while it happens.
Yeah, right, no, you're generally
That
right.
was Clang.so. I don't know what's with this guy. He flashes himself on the screen now. He's got shy. He used to be,
Jesus.
all the time regular. Now he's funny. Okay. Okay, small talk. Okay, Lara, I won't say her last name, but I gather that she's a good recruiter. I like the way she presents herself in our recruiting discussion group. She sounds smart. And here's what she said. I hate small talk. I hate it so much. She said, usually I want to get on the phone, say, how are you? And then talk about the interesting things. And she said it works with technical people, but salespeople make her want to kill herself. She actually said, jump off a bridge, okay? I interpreted that as kill herself. It's the same thing, okay? She said, they say so many words to say nothing, okay? Now, I have a problem with small talk as well. I have nothing to say, okay? But I always think that someone who can just chat about anything can really be a better recruiter. But she's a good recruiter who says she doesn't like small talk. Does anyone have an opinion about it? Sasha, I'll ask you first if you're not frozen. It's hard to tell. Oh, yeah, you're moving.
Thank you. Well, it depends. It depends on what role I'm hiring for and if I'm
See, I moved my head so people know I'm still alive and not frozen. And you don't answer the question. I take that. You've been on the show long enough to say, give me an answer right now. And it better be yes or no. It better be yes or no. No, oh, maybe. It depends. I don't like that. You know what? Hey, everybody, what I'm trying to provide for you that other people don't is a clear path forward, okay? A clear path is a yes or no. It's not a maybe.
No, okay. No, it's a no from me. It's a no from me. I don't engage into small talks.
Okay, is that because you don't speak English properly, or?
I don't speak English properly, and
Her
yet
English is very good. That was a joke.
Oh my
That
God.
was a joke.
Sasha.
Yeah.
Don't get so.
Well, she didn't know. The other day, she didn't.
You have so many things in my life. I'm used to it.
Okay.
The deer in the lights. Come on.
Yes, I'll never forget that. I got that over
That
you.
was like 3 months ago, and I'm still learning like expressions that you guys have. But
You're
yeah.
in the headlights.
And
Okay.
I'm actually leveling up, and I'm learning corporate language as well because I want to know how to properly say fuck off to someone that I don't want to be involved into what I'm doing. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
You're rich.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Hold on a second. We're talking about small talk. It's Rich, the famous Rich from cornerstonesearch.com.
Small talk.
Number 11. He's number 11 on this, and I'll explain why in a little while. Do you want to talk about small talk, Mario? Because you speak to tech people as well.
I do in that small talk, obviously. Something casual. Few minutes
Like what? About
hey,
a
how's it going?
cricket
What's
games
happening?
or
No,
what?
wait, I don't even play cricket, okay? I probably talk about what's going on, what's happening there, how's the weather.
Well,
What's
you don't
chilling-
talk
what's chilling
about
for the
Joe
weekends?
Biden or Trump trying to steal
I used to talk
democracy
about
from
Trump
America.
at one point in
No,
time.
no
But then I
politics,
realized
no
that, like,
religion.
no, I'll tell you one thing. I used to talk politics, okay? I can take the hits. I'm not going to cry over it. But I realized something, all right? Only when someone has spoken to you a lot can you talk to them about politics, okay? Because that's a very sensitive subject. Small talk is not a political debate. It's something very generic, a generic conversation. Simple.
Okay,
I think
we got
small
Mr.
talk.
Small Talk here. Mr. Small
Ah.
Talk. And for some reason, he likes to show us the map now. He thinks the
I'm touching
map is the
my
most
wall. I'm like, what can I tell you?
Not only
Rich is
that,
rich.
look how dark it is there. This guy's he's making $1 million
I'll
a
tell
year.
you
He can't
something.
afford a light bulb.
Yeah. No.
It gets hot
why
without the
he's
lights on.
You know
It's
why
hot,
he makes $1
man.
million a year? Because he works from a dungeon kind of environment. okay?
Exactly.
Where survival comes into play.
He's never told us that he's living in a garage. Okay, lots of that
No,
money
my-
is just by saving on
Yeah,
rent.
seriously. No, my
Well,
office
that's a
is
good start. Same as Apple, Google, Amazon, etc.
I
Exactly.
agree with that. You can work
No,
from anywhere.
my office is an absolute pigsty. It's literally got two
Yeah,
dogs
okay.
in here, two
What-
dog crates, and everything
Yeah.
else.
What about small talk, Rich? Because now Lara said she hates it. Okay, she's recruiting tech people, and she hates when she has to deal with salespeople because they like to blab about nothing. And you recruit tech salespeople. So, and we know that you find out all about their children's birthdays and stuff like that. So you are a small talk guy. Am I right about that? You love the small talk.
I'd say I love it, but you do it. I mean, you just have conversations. You know, I mean, you build the rapport differently, and everyone's different. You got to read the room. You got to read. How's these sound? I'm trying this new headset out.
Yeah, it's
How's it sound?
awesome.
Does it sound
Okay,
good?
so-
Not awesome. It's
Yep.
got an edge. It's not bad. Okay. Not awesome. Okay. You know what? Maybe she was trying to say so, but she doesn't know how to do it in our language. Okay.
Our language. He's Canadian. Our language. Good Lord. No, listen. I mean, like, just small talk. It just builds rapport. Like, I got a call this week from a guy who's looking for a job who I've known forever, but you know, he knows we're building a house, so he's like, he started telling me his daughter's this interior design person.
This is different.
You know,
That's somebody you knew forever. I'm talking
No,
about you
it's a-
cold calling
it's a
somebody you've never
candidate.
spoken to before. That's what we're
good
talking
Lord.
about.
Listen.
Don't
It
talk
is-
about you're talking to your mother and father. Okay,
Yeah.
that's not small talk.
No, it is a candidate that I've known, and I've gotten to know all these things about him, and he knows the stuff that's going on in my life. You know, that's
You know,
that's
look how they cop out. You know, look how they
Oh,
cop out. I
Jesus
asked a
Christ.
clear question. Oh yeah, I talked to somebody I've known for 20 years, and you know, we have a chit chat. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about talking to strangers. Okay, I'll move
Well,
on.
he was a stranger originally, and that's how
Okay.
you build the conversation up. You know,
Okay.
like, you know, talk about Big Ten football. You talk about whatever the, you know.
Okay,
the
you
bullshit
know what?
today
I'm
is.
going to make it easy for Rich because I'm going to ask a question that quotes him. But watch, when I quote him, he's going to say, "Oh, I didn't say that," or "I didn't mean that," and then I'll have to figure out that.
But
that
listen,
Rich just-
my guess is Animal's going to misquote, so it's okay.
Yeah, my guess is that Rich is going to say, "Oh, you know, he just told us he doesn't speak proper English. He lives in another country. Okay, he didn't understand. He's worse. He's worse than Sasha. Okay, that's what he's going to say."
Jesus Christ.
I would never say
Animal,
that.
you're on a roll today. Come on. You're trying to bear your fangs, I guess. right? So
Okay,
you bear me.
okay. Gavin asked, how much time should a recruiter spend on content marketing? And Rich said, no time. Rich said, focus on getting business and then recruiting people. He said, content is okay if you've got a team, but if you're a solo, when you do content marketing, you're just avoiding real work. You're better off finding articles and then, you know, just posting stuff that already exists. Did I misquote you, Rich? Okay.
Slightly.
Then fill us in.
No,
What
that-
did I say that's wrong?
That guy was talking about, like, he spent like an hour a day writing articles or some bullshit amount of time, which is clearly just hiding from reality. You know, I mean, promoting and doing content's fine, but to spend an hour doing it when you can just regurgitate someone else's stuff and give them credit for it, who cares? Doesn't matter. You put it on LinkedIn, that's where all your clients are for the most part. Throw it up there, people see your name, that's all you're going for. You don't need to rewrite.
He made a point when you just repost other articles. He said LinkedIn's algorithm doesn't treat you very well. Okay.
Don't care. And I'm not sure that's necessarily true. They change their algorithm all the time, number one. Two, if you have a following, I mean, if you're just new and you've got 5 people that you're connected to, yeah, it's not going to do much for you. But if I just posted my free status thing and, I get thousands of views. I don't know. I mean,
what's free status?
Because you're connected to 30,000 people.
Yeah. I mean, but it's your free update. Your little update thing. You can update your status. Like, I got a new job. I got this.
Yeah. Oh boy, that's exciting.
Yeah. But I post jobs in there. I post articles in there, and I'll get anywhere from 2,500 to 10,000 views.
You need to understand one thing. You have solid social proof.
Yeah.
So you're automatically going to get views. You need to understand your experience. You have 30,000 people on LinkedIn. Okay, connected to just connected. You're pretty sure it's already on the group. So your algorithm lock is pretty high. You can't argue that point.
Your phone sounds horrible. But but at the end of the day,
I know.
Thank you.
I know.
But the end of the day, it's like you post to advertise. It's just a way of advertising.
Yeah, okay. And you're saying it's not worth the trouble. That's what you're saying. Okay.
No,
do minimal. You just said do minimal.
Oh my God.
Do minimal. Do minimal. Okay, don't tell me you didn't say that.
Minimal.
Sasha.
Not spending hours writing content.
I'm asking Wonder Woman now.
That's
Gal
true.
Gadot. What's the story? Do you believe in it? Should you be posting about property management and maintenance articles about the job market for those people or the important things that people are looking for in your niche?
Well, it's a plus. However, we don't do that. We are non-existing on an online brand in 21st century. And by far, all the recruitment that I did through applications that came through platforms that we're using.
Okay,
or
but you have no vision. I mean, look, Rich is not a visionary for content marketing.
I'm not a ninja.
Okay,
well,
but you know what? But you see, at least he sees where it can. If you got a team to do it for you, it's worthwhile. You could be another Joe Mullins.
It's a full-time job. It's a full-time job. You need to think of what you're going to write at the end of the day, what type of content you're going to share with your niche. What is the specific niche that
but
you're
you don't do it.
with?
You don't do it. That's what you just told us, right? Okay.
Not yet.
Yeah. Okay.
And you have to be always up to date with that, with marketing stuff.
Okay. Well, he said, Gavin said something interesting as well. He said Sunday is a very good day to post on LinkedIn because no one else is doing it, but lots of people actually check their feed.
I post on Sundays. So it's when you do your work. I mean, that's when you're watching the football game. That's what you do. He's over in Europe. What does he know? It's while you're watching football, you send your emails out. It's a perfect time to be sending stuff out.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. He put me down because I'm Canadian. The other guy's over in Europe. Okay. And I'm criticizing her English.
I'm also in Europe. Hello.
Yeah. Well, as he was calling Sasha Wonder Woman, but hey, I'm the bad guy.
What is that? Is that not a compliment? Wonder Woman is great looking.
I'm just saying it sounds a little sexist.
All the power.
Yeah.
Okay. Mario, the recruiter. MarioTheRecruiter.com. Okay, Rich, you didn't see this guy posted that I put up a picture of you. I don't know if you saw it. Half the screen was you looking contemplative, and the other half was her smiling. Okay, and a guy said, you tricked us because you put the pretty girl in the photo and she doesn't show up until 40 minutes into the show. Okay.
I did see that.
There you go. Okay. So MarioTheRecruiter.com. Do you have anything to say about content marketing? I don't think you do it. Am I right?
I do that. Actually, I hired a guy to do the content marketing for me.
What does he do?
He's in the process of being trained by me. I tell him what I want him to write about. I give him the points and he expands on it.
Okay, and what do you want him to write about?
About the recruiting work and how we benefit companies when they work with recruiting companies.
Well, what's that? Some kind of shallow ad? Or are you talking about, defense clearance contracts or what?
Yes, mainly in the clearance space. So we talk about our experiences, how we help companies find candidates. The problem when you don't fill a position, what's the term for it? When you don't fill a position after getting a contract, there's something that happens. It's like some shit happens, all right? So you kind of lose on your past.
Man, I got a
performance.
high class of member for the recruiting animal team. Shit happens. There you go. It happens. That's the answer. I'm moving on. Okay. I'm moving on. Okay. What about this? The one strike. This should be easy. One strike rule. Okay. This is if the candidate schedules a call with you, he or she actually confirms a call at a specific time and doesn't answer when you call. Strike her out, get rid of her. Sasha, first to you.
I give a chance.
Answer.
I give a chance. No, I'm not striking out.
No.
I reach out. Yeah, I reach out again to see
We've
if,
lost her.
I mean,
The candidate's grandmother might have died, or she got a flat tire on the way home. Okay.
yeah, for instance.
Rich, do you believe in the one strike rule?
For if they're missing an interview or missing my call, if they're missing the call, me, I'll call them and say, what's the story? I'll shoot them a text. You know, and it depends. It also depends how good they are too. If I think they're going to be great, you know, you're a little bit more flexible. If it's someone you're on the
How
fence
flexible?
with,
What if they missed it twice, not once?
nah, I'd be done. I fired a client for doing that. So it just wasted my day. She actually did it 3 times in a day, kept rescheduling, never showed up. And I finally said, F you, I'm keeping the retainer. See you later.
Wow. Wow. He's tough.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
man. That's the man. He stands up for people in our jobs. Listen to him, Sasha.
Yeah.
You can be tough with those rings that you use on your. She doesn't know what I'm talking about. Okay, Mario.
So the bracelets,
Yeah.
they're bracelets. Wonder Woman's
the
bracelets.
bracelets.
Mario.
Yeah, tell me.
Mario. Okay.
Tell me. I'm listening.
What about you? The one strike rule, if they schedule with you, they approve, call me at 2:00 on Tuesday and you phone them and they're not there. What do you do?
See, I normally leave them a message and ask them to give me a call back.
Oh, really?
If they don't
Okay.
do that, if they don't
What-
do that,
Uh-huh.
I call
What
them
if it
one more
happens a
time,
second
I'll schedule
time?
again.
What if it
That's
happens
the
a second
I
time?
try to schedule a second time, and if that doesn't work, I drop him like a hot potato.
Okay. But you wouldn't drop a client like Rich. Whoa.
But yeah, I become the
There's-
11th on the Forbes list. I drop every client that pisses me off, okay?
Mario, your phone is hard. Your
I
phone
don't
is
know what's
horrible
on my,
today.
I don't know what's wrong with my phone today, seriously.
It's not as bad as usual. I think it's, I
think
say
it's
it's not as
worse.
bad.
No,
Okay.
no, it's
Okay,
way
is it okay
worse.
now?
No, you're very echoey.
Look, I scared away Wonder Woman. It didn't take, I thought I was
Nice.
making her feel good. Okay.
No, I'm
you're-
still here. However,
Yeah.
I have a shitty reception right
Okay.
now.
So you're
I
welcome
to
figure
speak,
out it's
even-
better
we
to
can't
turn off
see
my
you.
camera. And I would like to add up something without being interrupted. Recruiting animal, thank you. Yes, life happens and, it's unpredictable. Sometimes, I've witnessed in my personal life some really like top emergencies that couldn't be explained to anyone outside of my family, so taking that into consideration, I do have understanding for client. And there is a beautiful saying, and or I believe that maybe Jay-Z wrote something similar in his song, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice.
Oh, he's
shame
a genius. Wow.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
Imagine coming up
So,
with that one.
If I would
Hey,
give,
That's
I
an
would
old,
definitely,
that's an old saying. Just so you know, that's
yeah, I
older
would
than
definitely
that's
give
older than deer in the
another
headlights. Okay.
chance. Yeah.
That wasn't Jay-Z. It wasn't
Okay.
Jay-Z
You know
either.
what? There is an excuse.
Wait,
If
more
you're- if
more
you're a
importantly,
candidate-
more importantly, Sasha, Animal would never let anyone but you talk that long without interrupting.
Thank you.
But
Good to
she's
know.
got to. If your candidate is living in a war zone, okay, yeah, they've got a better excuse.
Well, not
There
a
you
war
go.
zone. What
yeah.
I had my coworker experienced a car accident just the other day, and one of the people who was in the car actually died. So that is an
man.
emergency, and life is unpredictable. Shit happens. So
Okay.
we do need to have understanding. And
Okay.
yes,
But
to
that
answer your
can't happen
questions,
twice.
I'm giving
okay?
a second
That
chance.
can't happen
Yes.
twice.
Yes, exactly. Of
I'm
course.
sorry to hear
Of
about
course.
that. Okay.
Okay, guys, quick question. Is my audio better?
A little.
Is
You
it
have to
better
talk
now?
a little more if you're going to just look at us. How are we going to know?
So is it clear or not?
Ask
think
Rich. Rich was
my
giving you a
reception
hard
is now
time. Ask
better.
him.
Rich, is it
Yes,
bad or good?
It's
Better
a little
or
better,
worse?
yeah.
Now,
Definitely
hold
better.
on a
let's
second.
stop
Is Clang.so listening? Because I'll do his ad if I know
Not
he's here.
sure.
Okay,
I'm,
Yes,
I'm gonna
listening.
write.
Okay,
You're
let me
very
do
nice
an
of
ad
you.
for this guy. For some reason, he's shy. I don't know what happened to him. He's gone mental, but he's still smart. Okay,
But let's hear his
still
ad
smart.
now.
What an
You don't
ad!
need
You've
to.
never
You
heard
need-
an
don't
ad
need
like
to.
this before.
And you said he's gone mental. Okay, another
Yeah.
expression that I'm gonna write down. Right?
Yeah, you be sure to say that one, okay, when you're talking to people.
He's got a mental, he's giving half off a Clang, right?
Okay, this guy is an IT recruiter in Switzerland, and he is so good and so technically smart. He's actually a programmer. He started off that way. He created his own applicant tracking system, and it's called Clang.so. KLANG.so. So check it out. It's got good reviews. Check it out, please. Okay, I want to get to this question because I don't know the questions I've been asking. I don't think they've been the best. Here's one. Should you confirm payment before an invoice is due? This guy says, I always follow up with a client to make sure we're all set for payment a week before the invoice is due to be paid. Okay, and he says something, and this is with clients that always pay him on time. Okay, but he said one time he called up, he emailed them, and they accounts payable got back to him and said, we something went wrong. We don't have this. They found out that it got lost, and then they got approval for it, and they emailed him back. Yes, it's coming. I find that I don't know. Some companies might not like it if you're bugging them even before they've had a chance to default. Does anybody want to comment on that?
I'm an internal, so I'm all ears.
Yeah, I mean, I always call, well, not always. I try to call 2 weeks before it's due. I don't call it before I send the invoice.
No,
But-
that's it. This is what this guy does. Before it's due, you call up. Who do you ask for, Rich? Your
Yeah,
client or
the
the
accounts-
AP?
Accounts payable. Accounts
And
payable.
what do you say to them? Word for word.
Word for word. It's like, hey, just want to make sure this bill's on track to be paid. It's due in 2 weeks, or the warranty is going to be void. So
Why do you do that?
to make sure it's going to be paid, because
No, why? You
otherwise,
think if you don't bug them, they're not going to pay it? Is that your assumption?
sometimes, yeah. I mean, often it's become more force of habit, but a lot of times, they just, my clients are generally small companies, so they're not always the most sophisticated. Shit gets lost in the shuffle, and sometimes you got to give it a little nudge.
You don't, and they
So-
don't mind you doing that. They don't say, "What's this?"
No, you're not rude about it.
No, but
I mean,
they
you just.
get off my back. I'm doing my work, and you're making me check out this thing.
I mean, if you mention that the guarantee is void, how do you make this sound not rude? I mean, this is like,
You're doing them a
like
favor.
Yeah, and you
You're doing them. I mean, this is the problem. You guys always act like, oh my God, I'm so grateful that these guys are working with me. Oh, I'm so honored. They're giving me a chance to actually, spend my hard-earned time for these people. Dude, you work for yourself. Most of us, if you're in recruiting, and even if you work for another firm, you're still running your own desk. You're still working for yourself technically. If you don't have value for your time, what the fuck are you doing? And why would anyone else take you seriously?
True.
Rich's message for these companies, his clients are, I don't need you. Okay. I don't need you. But Rich didn't say he gets on to the accounts payable person and said, look, you better send this to me on time or your guarantee is going to be invalid.
Rich,
You
do you
don't
do
tell
this
them
on
that.
every
Use the
invoice?
corporate language instead.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's you send an email or you
He
send.
doesn't threaten them.
or
You
you-
don't
Rich, I have
threaten
a
them.
question.
It's no threat.
Is my audio okay?
Yeah.
It's a little better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, for God's sakes. All right.
Yeah.
So you have it in your agreement that if you don't pay your fee on time, the guarantee is void, right?
Yeah. Remember, this was Jerry's argument a few weeks ago too. Yeah, absolutely.
So you have that. So you just need to reiterate that when you contact the accounts payable side, right?
Yeah. I mean, if I get someone on the phone, I'll just make sure
Friendly
it's
call,
there.
I guess.
Just it let you know. But a lot of times I'll just send an email and just say, hey, just want to make sure we're on track. If there's any questions on the invoice,
Oh, Rich,
it's
you
all
missed
super nice.
You missed Trisha Tamkin last week.
I know. I gotta go listen to it.
She wouldn't show
So-
herself either. Okay. Even I think she was wearing pajamas or something like that. Okay. Yeah, maybe her mascara was running. I don't know. Okay, next one. Thank you, everybody. Here's another one from Rich. Okay, he can tell me again that I'm misquoting him. Someone said he
I'm
wanted
going to
to
start
know.
with that.
Yeah, he wanted to know. He said, "Do you answer and return calls after hours and on weekends, or do you just wait till Monday, 8 to 5 to get back to them, between 8 in the morning and 5 in the evening?" Rich's answer: it depends if you want to make money. Okay, did I misquote you?
No, that was fairly accurate.
Yeah. Okay. And Rich says, in other words, I'll explain it and you can tell me where I'm going wrong. If you want to make money, you are flexible with your time. You don't go with any standard hours. You're there when the people you are dealing with are available. Is that right, Rich?
To a point. Nothing. This is you always want these black and white answers in recruiting, and there's no black and white.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
Well, what does to a point mean? What does to a point mean?
Well, if it's like a first-time candidate, the guy can only talk after 5 o'clock. I'm like, listen, if you can't talk during the day, this how you can never interview. You know, again, if the guy's a superstar, I'll make an exception. You know, if someone happens to call me after hours and I'm free, I'll take the call. But I won't ever schedule anything like 6:30, 7 o'clock at night with a candidate that's looking for jobs. You know, looking for an opportunity.
Okay, I'm a bit surprised now. Hold on, let me explore this just a little bit. Anybody else can chime in if they want. Okay, so do you talk to candidates, good candidates, after hours? It's like 7 p.m.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Again, like if it's their first conversation with them.
No, I said good candidates.
Oh yeah, if there's people I know, absolutely. If it's people that it's their first, if they look good on paper, and it's really the only time they can do it, and I'm struggling to find people, I would talk to them at midnight for all I care.
Hold on, you just said a second ago, look, if they can't speak to me during the day, they're not going to be able to talk to the company. He just said, didn't he?
Yeah,
they won't be able to interview, okay?
God. You sound like all these annoying lawyers I talk to. You would listen to half a sentence. I said, there's always exceptions. There's no black and white. There's a lot of gray.
You gave an answer. He said, if they can't talk to me during the day, they ain't going to call me after 5 o'clock. No way. They can't do an interview. I heard them say it.
For 99% of the people.
Can I clarify?
Hang on. Wait. For 99% of the people, that's absolutely the case.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know.
Can I say what I understood from his response? He is giving a value to his time. The time is money, and depending how important or valuable the client, hence candidate is, he will conduct and schedule an interview or not, period.
Well put. Very well put.
Okay.
I wouldn't have understood that unless you told it to me. Thank you.
My lessons in corporate language are doing great. Thank you.
Listen, Sasha, your English is better than the animals.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I speak to Queen's English. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, she's our queen. Okay. Go ahead.
And
Mario.
So listen, now in my scenario, sometimes we have candidates who can't take calls until they're out of the skiff areas.
Yeah,
that is areas that are DOD places. So we have to sometimes take calls at 8 o'clock in the night or 7 o'clock in the night. That happens.
But that's different. I mean, if there's guys that work in secure or they work inside the bowels of like a storage facility, kind of the tech secure storage facility, they're not getting any. You're not going to get reception. You couldn't talk to them if you wanted to.
You can't take the phone.
Yeah.
So that.
And I wanted to add, I'm also the one who's going to above and beyond. I mean, I'm working with 6 hours of time zone difference. So over here is 6:36 p.m. and I yet work for US market. And sometimes I had interviews at 12 p.m. my time because I love the candidate and I didn't want it to lose him. And, I saw that as a great opportunity to actually engage and, I'm passionate about what I'm doing. So
she's actually lying in bed when she's talking to that guy. Okay.
No,
She didn't tell you that.
The animal, you're on the roll, man.
Yeah.
well,
In pajamas, right? You
Okay,
forgot it to
I
add
I
that.
got a great one. If people don't think this is a good story, I was fuming mad when I read this, okay? This guy says, I've been working with one of the best clients I've ever had for about a year and a half, filling some very hard tech jobs in 3 different countries. The cooperation from the client has been amazing until today. I received an email from one of their people. I don't know why he put it that way. You'll see. One of their people telling me that he saw that I'm connected to a potential candidate on LinkedIn, and I don't need to pursue this candidate anymore because he's on it. I told him that I'm already talking to the candidate about it. Okay. He said, don't worry about it. I'm going to take it from here. Now, the funny thing is, this guy, the company guy, is a fairly new employee. He's the hiring manager, and this recruiter placed him. Okay. This guy placed his own candidate, is trying to screw him. Okay, that made me so mad. Okay, I'm
you don't
afraid to
get
tell
mad,
you
Animal.
about my violent fantasies when I read that. People will, cops after me.
Don't
I
get mad.
placed you in a job, and now you're trying to steal my living. The
No, you don't
nerve
get
you
mad.
got.
You get even. You place the other candidate in another position with the competitors. Problem solved.
honestly, but you those people, I've had a similar thing happen when I placed a guy, an advisor, and then he brought in a buddy of his, and I said that he didn't realize, and I'm like, dude, you realize you're just like basically took like 40 grand out of my pocket, right? And I'm like, a little something for the effort, for just moving forward. And he's like totally apologized, and this guy ended up giving me so much business afterwards that
Because you guilted him, and he had a conscience.
but that's the
No.
thing. If you say something, you say it nicely, and most people will try to help you out. I mean,
Animal, there's a small
right
thing to consider. Rich placed the guy, so he would have a great relationship with the guy. And that guy would know that later on down the line, he would need Rich when he needs to move again.
Yeah.
So you don't spoil
This
your
is the
relationship with
situation. The
somebody.
same thing here. This guy placed the
No, but
hiring manager.
that's the difference. That guy has ethics. This guy's a moron.
Yeah. Well, that's
Okay.
it. Did that recruiter? I remember seeing part of that post. Did that recruiter go back to that person and say, "Hey, listen, dude, I placed you.
Well,
I
here's
mean,
the
I'm not
thing.
saying give me a freebie, but I'm just saying, listen, don't screw me."
Okay,
Yeah,
he
why
says,
not?
my contract states that any candidate who's been contacted by me
Oh
is
yeah,
considered-
that was a stupid line though.
is considered mine for 12 months since the last contact.
Yeah.
Okay. And he said, this person, the hiring manager, is probably not aware of that. And what this recruiter wanted to know is, should I call the hiring manager who's causing me problems, my own candidate, or should I talk to the CEO that I have the relationship with? Who should he talk to? I say the hiring manager, just like Rich did. Anybody?
What you should do is first present the candidate to the hiring manager, CC the CEO, and then send a separate email to the CEO. Simple.
So you don't
I mean,
believe in just calling the guy up and saying,
No,
look,
you
you don't
don't call.
understand
This
my
kind of guy,
contract
you
with the
send-
company.
Written evidence.
Yeah, you need it
You
in
get the
writing.
candidate, send it to him.
But
Let
I
him
mean,
say, no, I already spoken to the candidate.
but hang on. The
Understood.
first problem is, I don't remember. Did this guy ever present him, or did this guy?
No,
basically
not
just
yet.
say-
He
Yeah.
didn't.
So I mean, so he loses no matter what. You can't say anyone I contact, I have the right to. I mean, that's just like basically say, all right, I contacted everyone on LinkedIn, so you can't talk. Companies try to do that stupidity.
That's why I said first present the guy.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah, I mean,
BS.
Don't
So
waste your time.
Yeah. I mean, so the candidate's pretty wrong. I mean, the recruiter's wrong and very weak in his argument.
Why? The recruiter said, I'm talking to this guy already.
Big deal.
Dope.
He didn't present anyone.
Hands off.
Yeah.
Hands off. I'm talking
Doesn't
to him
matter.
already.
No, you can't do that. That doesn't work.
Unless he gave that name to that company and a resume. Who cares? Like, I mean, I've placed, people's neighbors before, like the neighbor to the VP of sales. And the guy's like, all right, whatever. I didn't know he was looking.
Okay,
I mean-
that's different. He didn't contact him. He had no idea.
But this company, this company didn't know this candidate was talking to this guy, did they?
Okay, I wanted did Sasha have to go? Okay.
No,
but-
she's just turned her video up. People can still hear you
I'm-
with the video
I'm
up there.
back.
Ma.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
okay.
I'm
I
back.
just want to make sure everything's okay.
He went to save the
Yeah.
world and come back.
I want to
Yeah.
ask Klein Guy SO if he want to say something about this, it's fine, but I want to give the example first, okay? let's say Rich is the hiring manager, I'm the recruiter, and Mario is the CEO. Okay. And so or Mario's the candidate. And so I contact Mario. I say, Mario, I'm working on this great job for Sasha. And I think I'd like to pursue it with you. We should talk about it. And then Rich calls him on. Rich sees it. He's there. He says, he gets in touch with me. He said, recruiting animal, don't touch that guy. I'm going to take care of myself. And I say, hey, Rich, I'm already on it. We're in process. And he says, hands off, buddy. And now Rich Rosen says that's good behavior. That's not good behavior.
No, you should have presented me to the client.
Yeah, if he presented this candidate to the person, if I said, hey, listen, animal, hey, I got Mario, I'm talking to Mario, and he's great for this role. And then he says, oh, great, I know Mario, I'll just call him myself. And I'd be like, great, as long as I'm getting credit for it, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Isn't that different from what he said before?
No, it's the same thing, animal.
It's exactly the same thing.
You're just not able to wrap your head around it.
This guy before, you said he just contacted the individual. You never said he presented that individual.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you just said, you didn't say you presented him. You said,
well, if I'm giving you the name, I'm presenting. If I tell you a name, I'm presenting that guy.
Okay. Clang, do you want to say anything? Clang, do you want to talk? I'm giving you an opportunity. Okay. No?
Agree.
Okay. What? No, doesn't want to talk. Something's wrong with his audio. Okay,
He
fine.
said
It's
he
okay.
agrees.
He agrees. Okay.
Thank you for the translation.
What about this? When you're hiring a manager, do you ask them, how many people have you fired? Because firing is necessary, and firing is lots of people find it a difficult thing to do. So I was wondering, I think you should ask people. I've never asked anybody, how many people did you fire and how did it go? Okay, what was the process you used? Does anybody ask how many people you fired? Anybody?
When I'm interviewing for property manager positions, I do ask about eviction process, which is pretty much similar.
Well, that's
what
worse.
is the percentage?
Boy, that's worse. Oh God, no, I'd hate
That's
to
really
have to
bad.
say that. You guy tells you, Sasha, I take a baseball bat with me. Okay, if they give me any problems.
No, they don't. They don't.
Okay, and I got a Doberman.
They don't, but they give me a specific percentage or sometimes a number of people that they evicted or they describe how was the process like. So when hiring for this position, I mean, eventually they're gonna face with the eviction process.
Okay, so nobody seems to bite though with me that they think it's a good question to ask. Did you fire anybody? Rich doesn't even look up. He just shakes his head. Okay. Yeah.
That's all it was dignified for.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I'm hard at work.
You know
here.
what?
Yeah.
I want to make fun of like an HR counselor or something. I don't know what she is. She was writing about how companies can retain their employees during the Great Resignation. Okay, apparently everybody's leaving their jobs now. Okay, and what does she say? She says, make an engagement calendar so they can know about what exciting events are coming up, and like a best chili competition. That's what it sticks in my mind. A best chili competition and an virtual happy hour. Who's going to stay for that garbage when you call them with another job? Oh, hey man, like I like it here. They got this best chili contest. So I really want to win. My wife makes great chili or I make great chili. That was stupid. Would anybody else agree with me? That's stupid.
Yes, I finally agree. That is stupid.
That's the dumbest shit I've heard all day.
Yeah,
That's some dumb shit.
Best chili contest. Okay, are candidates obliged to tell a recruiter if they're also interviewing elsewhere?
It would be nice.
Say that again.
If you've got a candidate, you're sending her out for an interview. Is she like morally obliged or just in practical terms obliged to tell you that she's also interviewing with another company?
If you ask, you should tell you. But I mean, or at least even if they don't give you the name, say, yeah, I've got other things going on. I mean,
okay,
it's
so you're saying it's a recruiter's responsibility to check on that, right?
If you don't ask, they're not going to tell you.
Why not?
Why should they?
Because this was the comments, because if they're looking somewhere else, that makes the client company take more notice and say, we can't drag our feet on this.
The
Okay.
recruiter should ask that question then.
Okay, so the
I mean,
candidate's
what-
not
what
smart
else-
enough.
what-
The
what-
candidate
what-
doesn't know how to.
No.
Oh,
What-
I'm an idiot.
wait,
I'm
what
not
else
on the
am I
job
supposed
market
to-
all the time.
wait. What else am I supposed to, what else am I supposed to tell you that you haven't asked me? I feel like I'm talking to my wife. I'm supposed to know all these things.
This guy's always accusing me of talking like his wife. Well, maybe she's a wonderful person, okay?
Maybe she is. Everyone has their
Oh, you
moments,
sound
right?
like my wife, okay? Whenever I challenge what he
You
says,
don't know what I'm thinking. God. You're supposed
I
to know
didn't
the answer
think-
before
None of
before
that.
I ask the question.
Okay. What about you, Mario? Do you want them to tell you, or do you ask them, hey, buddy, I called you out of the blue. You're not looking for a job as far as I know. Do you ask them,
No,
hey,
I
are you also,
asked them,
what do you say?
hey, you interviewing with any other candidates, companies?
Currently?
Talking to anyone else?
Sasha,
going
do you
on
ask them yes or no? She's sleeping, sorry. Okay.
Maybe just
Clang,
She's tuning you
she's
out.
frozen. Clang, wake up. I'm giving you a chance. I'm just giving you a chance. You don't have to talk, okay?
Yes,
Okay.
I ask this sometimes.
Sometimes. Why only sometimes?
If it fits the conversation.
Okay,
does it
yeah,
not
I
fit
don't,
the
that's something I
conversation?
don't understand, okay?
It always fits the conversation.
I mean, isn't
See
it a
that-
standard question?
It's a standard
Yes.
question in every phone call because you never know
Yeah.
what changes from call to
Yeah,
call.
but the thing is, you're calling people up out of the blue. They're passive candidates. They're not looking, okay?
So what? How do you know? People lie all the time.
Okay, I don't know if I discussed this last week. The Canadian government spent $178,000. That's a lot of money in headhunter fees, okay? They were, the headhunters gave them 70 people and only 2 of them were suitable.
Jeez.
I wouldn't have the nerve to
What?
keep that money. I think I talked about it last week.
No, you
2
didn't.
people. No? Okay. They were looking for diverse candidates for what we call deputy minister roles. A minister is someone who's in charge of a certain business, government business area. Okay. Like finance, although I doubt that these were for finance, or citizenship or something like that. So
Okay.
they paid like $200,000 and they got 2 decent candidates. I can't
200K.
understand. $178,000 Canadian dollars. So maybe
That
it
means
was
it's
like,
a retained search.
of course it was retained, and it was probably with some big brand name company as well.
That's why
Not
they
me,
got nothing.
okay? Not me, although I have worked everybody for those big brand companies. They give me their jobs. Hey, you in your basement or your garage, work this for us, okay? Nobody, because they're never going to give it to you who's doing the labor, okay? Nobody wants to talk about that. Okay.
No, I do want to hear more about it, but let's talk later.
Well, I already told you about it. I told you
Give me the
everything I
link.
know. And I didn't. Where did I get
Good
this from? The
research.
newspaper. It was in the Globe and Mail, the top paper in Canada. Okay, the top business paper in Canada. Oh, vase mir. What else should I? talk
I wonder who wrote off.
Look at you getting ready for the holidays. Nice, nice.
Does anybody else have something they want to talk about? Anybody? Anybody? Rich, did you see anything interesting, or did something get you agitated in the last week or two?
No, man. Nothing. It's
Just
I think that, it's just the market is shifting, so it's interesting to see what people are doing.
What do you mean?
I think clients are getting nervous. So it's been interesting.
What do you
So,
mean? They think they're going to lose the big slump. Is that what it is?
well, I think it's funny. Half the companies I feel like they feel like we're already out of the recession and coming out of it. Others feel like we're going into it. And it depends on where they are in their venture capital cycle. What something like Series C and D round companies are getting hit a lot harder than A and B round companies and C round companies.
Here's the real question. Are you noticing that the candidates are more reluctant to move because they're
Yeah.
smart? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of them are getting nervous. But again, I also deal with earlier stage companies. We're not dealing with big, massive organizations. So it adds an extra layer of, like, towards Amy's old argument of a big company versus small company recruiting.
Yeah.
it's definitely puts a little bit of a challenge for startups.
So what would you say to somebody? They say, Rich, the economy's not in great shape. If I make a move now, I might find myself on my ass in a month or two.
Yeah, I mean, I say the same
sidewalk.
thing. I say the same thing all the time. Be honest with you, assume we find the right company that's well funded and has proper leadership and a must-have technology. You're going to be actually probably safer than if you went to Oracle or you stayed at your company now where you're not that happy. Probably shows, especially if you're not hitting your numbers.
Okay, you assumed, hold on a second, you assume the person is not happy at their current company rather than they're happy, but you're offering something even better, okay?
Yeah.
You're taking them to a new level. Heaven has 7 layers, okay? There's 7 levels of heaven, okay? So maybe it's an ancient, that's how they conceive heaven. It was actually a place above the earth, okay? And there was 7 layers on it.
So the stratosphere,
they had the 7th heaven, okay? They had the 7th heaven, okay? So Rich says, look, you're only in heaven number 2 or number 1. It's just like heaven knows Mr. Jordan, right? And so he says, I can take you higher, okay? He's got, that song?
You always go and assume that, hey, listen, they're not happy. Most people aren't happy at their job, whether it's their manager, their comp, and salespeople for their account list, whatever it may be. So you just make the assumption.
Yeah, he just gave me a good idea for a pitch. Look, Susie, would you rather be unhappy at your current company or unhappy at the company I'm telling you about? Yeah. Okay,
I can tell you. I mean, I'd say one of the best emails I use. My opening line is like, it's tired
of working for an asshole. Okay, isn't that what you?
No. Well, that is a great one. But it's basically like I heard about were you affected by all the changes? And they're like, what changes? They call up. It gets a great response.
What changes are you referring to?
Well, it doesn't matter. I leave it open-ended. Let them fill me in when I talk to them.
Wow. Wow.
It's
okay,
like,
it sounds like he knows some secret. Mary, it doesn't sound like he knows some secrets that are going on in their own firm. It's on the verge of collapse or something.
Yeah.
And people don't resent that, Rich?
No, why would they?
Because
the changes can be anything, right? It's open-ended.
Exactly. I'm not making any lies up. I'm letting them tell me.
It's kind of misleading. Okay.
Rich, you should be a trainer.
You chose to think about it the way you did. Maybe the change was they got funding and now they're gonna do a bunch of hiring, which then they're gonna get a smaller account list. Maybe the change is everyone's getting fired. They don't know about it yet. I don't know. Maybe they're gonna tell me something. Chances are their bosses, they don't like their boss. So there's people leaving. Little Susie from accounting left. I don't know.
Final question. Okay. Unless you guys don't have anything. Okay. Best mobile.
I have something, Animal.
Go ahead.
Okay. What are your thoughts on this? These guys that are posting on Facebook groups that they have a business development team. What do you think of that? To do business development on the side.
What do you mean? They hire people who just sell their services?
They, like, let's say, example, a firm like mine, we approach them, hire one of their business development guys, and they charge us a monthly fee and they bring us business.
I have never heard of it working out well. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Does he mean lead generation or sales agents?
Lead generation, yeah.
But
they find the leads.
Mario, honestly, they're usually guys from India making the phone calls and they never work.
No, but this guy is an American guy who's doing it literally.
And what does he charge?
He charged about $1,400 a month.
$1,400
Yeah, $1,400. Yeah,
US? No fucking way. He's using outsourced guys in India to do the work for him. He's just the guy.
Actually, his team is in Philippines.
The same difference. It's either way. I've never heard it working of any value. And the guys that had success the last 2 years, my dead grandmother probably could have picked up jobs the last 2 years. So, see what the guy did 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I would not spend that money.
Now, you know what? There's been, I won't mention a name, but it's a well-known guy, highly respected in our Facebook recruiting community. And he uses these virtual assistants in the Philippines. Okay. And
that's different though. That's what he's talking about.
Well, yeah, no, they go through LinkedIn, they find potential companies or candidates, and they send out emails. I think they do that lead gen for him. And if I'm not mistaken, he's happy with it. These, you know,
That's different though. He's talking about making phone calls.
Mario,
Like, I
is
mean-
is
Yeah,
he right or
he's
am I
not.
right?
He's kind of right.
Who Rich is right and I'm
Which is
wrong?
right. They find leads,
The usual
they build
way.
a list of people, yeah, and they make calls.
Okay, but here's the trick. Rich kind of agreed with me that if they're sending out marketing stuff from the Philippines, that might be worthwhile. Are you saying that, Rich?
Yeah, I mean that I don't think is crazy.
Is that what you actually have doing? I forgot. You've got a virtual assistant. Is she doing
Yeah.
that for you? Okay, he
He
didn't
does
tell
not
you
do
that.
that for
He
me.
hid that information, okay?
My 20-hour-a-week admin, you're right. He's doing literally no, all he does is basically data entry. He just basically finds phone numbers and I give him a list and he goes and builds my list for me, puts it in my database.
Okay, but then you send out the emails or he sends them out for you?
I send it out.
Okay.
I send it out.
Okay. Actually, so that leads into the final question. Gavin said, when you call people, Gavin was on last week with Trisha. It was a great show. And wasn't it, Mario?
Yeah,
I know. I heard. I wish I heard. I'm gonna have to go
Okay.
listen.
Okay. So anyway, but we talked about, anyway, I won't tell you. Okay. Gavin said, when you call somebody up, when you cold call someone, one of the questions he said that's important is, do they know who you are? And that brought me back to Rich sends an email the night before he calls, right? So they've got a chance to maybe identify him.
Mhm.
And that's not an issue for him. He leaves a voicemail. He doesn't care if they know who he is. So that's really, it's not an issue. What do you guys think? Should they know who you are before you call? It doesn't make any difference in the end,
Yeah,
right?
I think it always helps. But I mean, now, obviously, if people know who you are, you're not a stranger. You know, it's like you hear the same stupid ad on the radio 15 times. You know, you see it in the store, you're like, oh, I know that beer or that whatever it is. It's the same thing. More times I hear your name better. You know, even if your voicemail is just say it's Rich Rosen, call me back, Rich Rosen, following up. Every time I hear your name, it
What
sounds
if they
better.
see your articles that you're content marketing on LinkedIn? Okay,
If
that's
you got-
where we started.
If you got a team that's putting them out there, knock your socks off. Otherwise, you do it like I do, and you find a nice article and you just throw it up there.
Mario,
you
you
gotta
want
do.
in? Mario, you want in? Anything you want to
Hey, it
say?
works.
What works?
The more times they hear our name, the more they connect it to.
Okay,
a
so
certain
but
thing.
you wouldn't hesitate to call someone before they actually knew who you were, right?
Ah, I call and talk to them. That's it.
Okay, but would you believe in sending the email before you call? Do you think it's important?
We do that.
Okay, and
Even
I'll
for our
just mention,
customers.
okay, I'll mention to Rich, what we talked about, something we've never really talked about here before with Trisha, was warming up email addresses
Yeah.
so they don't go into the garbage
have to.
spam
Well,
folders.
You have to, because if Gmail, when you first get a Gmail account, you can only send like 100 emails a day. And then the more you use it, the more you can start sending out. to-
Okay,
to a
and
point.
but there's tools that you can use to warm up those. So we'll talk about that again. Final for
So, you know what,
Klein
you know
Guide.
what? Wait, hang on. You know, that on that Snovia right now is just advertising, because they're giving people like a free warm up thing, because they just released their email warm up tool.
Spell it,
So-
Snovio, SNOVIO dot.
.io. It's a Ukrainian company as well.
Uh-huh. Okay,
During the
so
war,
it's-
they're still producing tech. They're still producing.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay, are you a customer or you just know of that?
I have like a AppSumo deal with them from years ago. I don't use it as much as I should probably,
Mm-hmm.
but I
Okay.
got other tools.
Oh, I wanted to say hi to Michael G. Cox. I noticed he's still very active on Headhunters group, the Herc group. Okay, so I
Yeah.
hope everything's going okay with
Hey,
that.
Animal, why are you in the WhatsApp group? Rich, you too. I know you're very busy, but still.
Which one?
Because
The
wasn't
WhatsApp group, we have an animal
no,
WhatsApp
it's
group.
because the teacher she was running it and she's gone back to
No,
teaching.
she ain't running it. Iwan is the main admin.
Oh, really? Okay. I mean, but I was never really on it. So
We invite you to it.
yeah, but
So
I
I
don't
didn't even
use,
know
I
about
barely
that.
use my phone. The final question was actually, what's the best mobile phone for a recruiter? We'll leave that for next time. Ivan, do you want to say anything?
The landline.
Yeah, just send me your phone numbers. I'll add you, Rich and Animal. I'll add you again. So
Yeah,
Fantastic.
if it's on WhatsApp, I'm never on WhatsApp.
Neither.
Gone. Let's
All right.
change our
Either,
group
but,
to some
but
other
it can
tool.
feed, WhatsApp can feed into your screen, front screen or whatever.
Yeah, I love my
Anyway,
friends.
MarioTheRecruiter.com. Clang.so, the super duper applicant tracking system, and number 11 on the Forbes list of best American recruiters and the top solo cornerstonesearch.com. Sasha Tesanovic, thank you, Wonder Woman.